everyone, Michelle Ragusa McBain here, and today I would like to talk to each and every one of you about your brand. What is it people say about you when you're not in the room? What do they think of you? What do they know about you? Do you let them in? What is their experiences with you personally, professionally, on social media? What is your brand? Today, I want to give you 6 simple strategies to have a very strong and dynamic personal and professional and social brand to help you be more effective. The first thing you have to consider is what is the emotions that you want to invoke in people when they think about you and your brand. For me, it's pretty simple. The first thing I want people to think about is authenticity or genuine or real. I am very direct. I'm a New Yorker. What you see is what you get. I am the type of person that regardless of the situation, I am who I am. And I think that's something that I want people to know when I talk to them, that it's comes from a place of trust and honesty, and I'll always be very compassionate but direct. Number 2, I want people to think about likability or friendliness. I always say a stranger's just a friend I haven't met yet, and I always want my brand to be very inviting to others, whether they are somebody I know very briefly, just have met, or somebody I know very intimately. I want the brand that I have to be one that is providing value, which would be number 3. How can I help them? How can I connect them to other people to help them be more effective together? And that is one of the things that's most important to me, is what are the goals and how can I help people achieve them, even if it's delivering these free tips weekly on social media. For you, I want you to spend a little time, even if you pause the video right now, and think to yourself, what are the 3 feelings that I want to invoke in people when they think about me and my brand? Next, I want you to think about the top 2 social platforms that you really want to knock out of the park. A lot of people will say, oh, I have a personal social brand and I have a professional social brand. And our conversation dives deeper, and I realize that they don't even use one of them effectively, let alone 2. Don't do that to yourself. If you're going to be half-assed at anything, you really don't need to do it. You need to give 100%. The grass is greenest where you water it. So make sure you're dedicating time and effort. If your audience is on Facebook groups, or if they're YouTube watchers or podcasts or bloggers, you should consider 2 platforms that you invest the most time and effort on. Not to say that you're not on the other platforms, but that's not where you're really cultivating your growth. So, for example, the first should be a long form platform. Perhaps it's blogs, LinkedIn articles, YouTube videos, something that long term will provide value. The second is a platform that really drives engagement, one that you're communicating, participating, interacting. That's where you're going to have a real strength. Maybe it's on Twitter and you're very witty and you have great short engagements and interactions. Perhaps it's in Facebook groups where your customers or your target demographics are. Whatever that place is for you, that's where you should be spending the majority of your time. And I would highly recommend carving out 1 hour a day just to put it on your calendar and force yourself into that time. It takes 21 days to make a habit. Start today. The third thing you want to think about is being clear and consistent. So often people say one thing and deliver another. Your messaging should be the same regardless. If you talk about being responsible and determined and dedicated and responsive and time sensitive, all of these buzzwords, but you don't respond to a social message for a month because you decided to go off of Facebook because you didn't enjoy the conversations about politics, then that also impacts your brand. I treat social media like I treat any other part of my daily activities. Like I check emails, like I listen to voicemails. I am always trying and striving to be responsive, engaged, and participatory. The algorithm likes it on the social tools that you're on, but also it's so important for you to have a successful brand that translates not only in person, but also to your digital presence. Fourth, you really want to think about quality versus quantity. A lot of people strive for those vanity metrics, and you can have 10,000 followers, but if none of them care about the content that you're posting, then it's really not a good match for you. So, for example, you really want to consider two things. First, who is my target demographic? What is their segment, their industry, their sub-industry, their vertical? Is it business? Is it consumer? You really want to hone in and be laser focused on your prospects, but you also want to understand who you are and what differentiates you and what is the message that you're trying to communicate and to whom. Because it's not a peanut butter spread. You're not all things to all people, and you shouldn't be. It is important for you to both know your audience and also know yourself. For example, I recently started a travel blog. In that blog, I am very specific about that I've been to 6 continents and to 85 countries. And if you're an aggressive world traveler or just want to learn more about travel, perhaps that's something that might interest you. In my tech community, perhaps I'm looking at managed service providers or vendors or distributors or people in my ecosystem who make sense for my chats. And I want to apply what I'm talking about to the right audience at the right time. You also want to understand, number 5, who is your audience? As you now know who your brand is, what is the information that's applicable to them and how can you correlate the two? Are you, again, fishing where the fish are? Are you talking to them or just posting things aimlessly in the ether webs and hoping magically people show up and comment and like and engage and purchase from you? It doesn't work that way, as we know, so it's very important that you're consistent in your messaging and you're curating quality, loyal consumers, prospects, and influencers to build your relationships and engage with and help amplify your message or move the needle on your purchases. And finally, number 6, you want to be you. There is no point in doing anything else that doesn't really set yourself apart and allow people to understand the real person behind the messaging. The authenticity and core values of who you are unchangeable. You can change your logo, your brand colors, your motto. You can change companies that you work for, but you are you regardless. And so it is so important that as you build your brand and as you deliver your messages, that you always remain true to yourself. So these are 6 simple takeaways on how you can build an authentic, valuable brand and how are you helping to put them into motion today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again.